Hi dolls, my name is Bethany Herway and I'm the Glamorous Housewife. Today I'm going to show you how to make summer tomato soup, and we're going to serve that with grilled cheese sandwiches. Now I love this meal for a few reasons. One of the reasons I love it is because the flavors of the tomatoes, and we're going to put corn in it, and we're going to put in some basil, all of those flavors really remind me of summer. And the second reason that I love this meal is because everything that I use to make it, I have at all times on hand in my refrigerator, in my freezer, and in my pantry. So in the middle of winter, when I'm freezing and I just want to go to the beach and I just want it to be warm, I make this meal and it just brings back those warm feelings of summer. So what we're going to do is we're going to start over at the stove and make our soup. We're going to come back here. I'm going to show you how to put together your grilled cheese sandwiches, cook them back on the stove, come back here to plate. So you want to meet me over by the stove? So I've started by chopping up half of a red onion and adding it to some olive oil over medium heat just to saute the onions and bring out the flavors, the sweetness, a little bit of the tang, and get it nice and soft. Then what I'm going to do is add 1 can of crushed tomatoes. I like these crushed tomatoes better than the pureed because I like the texture, but if you like a creamier, smoother tomato soup, then you can try the pureed tomatoes. Pour that in. I'm going to raise the flame up because I want to bring this up to a boil. Okay. Mix it around. Now, right now, you basically have the beginnings of a regular tomato sauce. What's going to make this a tomato soup is adding broth. Now, I like this no chicken broth. I've also used their vegetarian broth, and I like the flavors. I like the way it tastes. I just pour in as much as it needs to just become soup. So let's see, that's probably a quarter of maybe a third of the carton. And I just mix it around. Yeah, now it's getting to look much like soup. It's thinned out. I'm going to bring that to a boil, turn it down, and let that cook while we make our grilled cheese sandwiches. Alright, we've got our tomato soup cooking on the stove, letting all the flavors meld together. Now I'm going to show you how to make a basic grilled cheese sandwich. So I use sourdough bread because I like the tangy flavor to go with the tangy flavor of the tomatoes, but you can use any kind of bread. I also quite like whole wheat bread. I like the nutty toasted flavor to go with the gooiness of the cheese, or you can use whatever it is you want, but this is what my family prefers, the sourdough. As for the cheese, it's Havarti. I like Havarti cheese with this meal because there is a restaurant that I like to go to that has this amazing scramble. It's white corn, basil, and Havarti scramble. It's delicious. So besides the tomatoes, I have all the same flavors going on in this meal. I've also had it with a really sharp cheddar cheese, and it's out of control. But if you really want to bring the flavor to a whole new level, try a smoked Gouda or smoked provolone. It's amazing. Though I don't know if your kids would like it, so you might want to just keep that to yourself and your husband. So, moving on to the sandwiches. I like to cut off the crusts. You don't have to do this. This is just a personal preference. Now the next thing I do is I butter 2 sides of bread. I've taken my butter and microwaved it until it's soft. And then I just use this pastry brush, spread the butter on. Okay. The other side. Now, a lot of people butter both sides of the bread. I figure, why have the extra calories? You already have the butter flavor. That butter is going to toast up beautifully. So I open it up, and then I add my cheese. For myself, I add 1 slice. For my husband, 2. Add 2. Shut it, and then I'll show you how to grill it back at the stove. Oh, it smells so good. I can smell the tomatoes in there and a little bit of the onion. I'm letting the tomato soup continue to bubble away, and I'm going to make the grilled cheese sandwich. So I use a grill pan, the same one I used on the fish tacos, and to get rid of that fishy flavor, all you do, of course, is wash it with soap and water, and then I rub a citrus, a lemon or a lime over it and rinse it off again, and that really seems to alleviate any of that fish smell problem that you might be having with your grill pan. So I have it over a medium heat, letting it come up to temperature, and remember, you've got the butter on both sides of the bread, so it shouldn't stick to your pan. So let's put that down. Hear the sizzle? That's your butter. So what I'm going to do is let this cook on both sides just a few minutes till I can see the marks and till the cheese gets all nice and gooey and melted. Flip it, get done, and then we're going to plate. Alright, we've got our grilled cheese sandwiches all done. We've got our piping hot tomato soup ready to go. I've already poured it into the bowl just because it was easier. But one thing I forgot to mention is when you turn it off, taste it and make sure all the flavors are there. If you need more flavor, add a little bit of salt. If it's too tart, add a little bit of sugar. If you get it too sweet, you're kind of in trouble, but you can try a little bit of vinegar or some lemon juice. That'll help balance the flavors. So I've got all my flavors balanced, all melded, ready to go. And you might be thinking, hello, you talked about corn and you talked about basil. So here's my trick. You take the piping hot soup, and then I have frozen corn, just out of a bag. I always have it in my refrigerator. I just take that and use it like an ice cube. That not only defrosts the corn, but it also cools down the soup. It makes it even quicker to serve to my family. Now for the basil, sometimes I have these beautiful plants of fresh basil, in which case I use it. If you have it fresh, use it. But a trick that I've got is this, I don't know, they're little cubes of chopped basil, and I use this. I also use the garlic, frankly, all the time. I keep it in my freezer, and I just take it out, open it up, and just pop one little cube in. And as the heat from the soup melts it, mix it around. Oh, I can already smell that fresh basil, and I can get that year-round. And that's really what I'm looking for in the winter when I'm freezing cold, is this summer kind of delicacies. Now, for the grilled cheese sandwich, it's all ready to go. My favorite part is this right here where it hits the grill and it gets all crunchy. That's key. I always slice my grilled cheese sandwiches into 4s on the diagonal because that's how my mom did it, and I'm telling you, it tastes better this way. Try it. Cut it in squares, cut it in triangles. The triangles went out every time. And there you have it, a delicious, fairly healthy meal for you and your kids. And if you feel like this isn't enough, you can go ahead and make a green salad, and that'll really balance everything out. I hope you enjoyed this tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich special from the Glamorous Housewife. You can always find me at my blog, theglamouroushousewife.com. And be sure, if you like this video, to like it on YouTube, because it's really fun when I go and check it and I have lots of likes. I'm very needy. Thank you so much.